We had a discussion about Sex in the City.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you had never seen it, and I think Chet might have suggested that we watch it at some point.
Sure. I mean, it's a great show, and you know what? It's still held up, I thought.
Well, let's hear the numbers and then see.
Okay. So Sex in the City ran from 1998 to 2004. I'm not touching on the movies. This is purely the television show.
Mm-hmm.
However, a reboot, Sans Samantha, that will consist of 10 half-hour episodes and is set to begin production in New York City in late spring. So we're getting at least one more season, but yeah, no Samantha. So,
was there ratings?
Yes. And by the way, I'm pretty sure that's because Kim Cattrall hates them all.
Oh,
and they none of them got along. Yeah, with her.
You gotta tell me about that.
And I believe Sarah Jessica Parker once posted a picture of all of them or something, or maybe of her, and something friendly. And Kim Cattrall was like, "Bitch, we're not friends. Like, don't post shit about with me." Okay, so I have stats for the series and for the episodes. So for IMDb, the series overall has a 7.1, and the first two episodes both have a 7.3 rating. Now for Rotten Tomatoes, I have the series and then just season 1. So Tomato Meter for the series is 71%. For season 1, it's 55%. So it's quite a dip. And the audience rated the entire series 85%, and they rated season 1 68%. So season 1 was the lowest rated on Rotten Tomatoes by both parties. And I also have a little trivia. Sarah Jessica Parker had a no nudity clause in her contract, and the other ladies did not. So should you continue to watch, you ain't gonna see no Carrie titties.
Okay.
But you'll see the other ones.
Did she also have a no bra clause in her contract? Is she never wearing a bra?
She did the Jennifer Aniston, yeah. Kristen Davis turned down the role of Carrie to play Charlotte. And I don't see her. I mean, you just see her as Charlotte now. I can't imagine her as Carrie.
Well, she's an actor.
Right. Kim Cattrall turned down the role of Samantha twice before she was convinced by Darren Starr's boyfriend to just give it a try and shoot the pilot.
And
so those are a few money talks.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Sex.
My first time watching Sex in the City.
For real?
Never seen a minute of the show. I only know what people talk about. Which one are you? And
here we go. What's
and
up?
like how good the show is. And
has Christina seen it?
Never. She's seen parts of it, and she was like, "Who are these old bitches? I don't want to watch this." But so I watched the first episode, the second episode, and then finished off the whole season.
I like it.
It's great.
Too?
Huh? No,
you also finished during.
Oh yeah, actually, that's one thing that the show's really funny. I really like every storyline and how short the episodes are. Like you go through them really quick.
Yeah,
20 minutes.
It's a great pace.
27.
Show.
22.
And
27.
I'm just constantly shocked about how old everyone looks on this show. Like she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm dating this guy. He's 30 years old, and he looks like old as a motherfucker." And they all look old as fuck. I'm like, they're supposed to be 30? Are they supposed to be 30? Like they look horrible.
Well, like that guy, the guy in the second episode who dates all the models, when he's like, "I'm 34," I'm like, "Are you?"
Yeah. Everyone looks fucked up on this show. I guess it's just the period. Chet, you remember that period.
And you'll see...
I remember your period very clearly.
You'll see a lot of actors who have very small roles in Sex and the City, but then who like blew up later, and you're like, is that fucking, like that one guy, I don't know his name in real life, but he was in Big Little Lies. Did you ever watch that show? I know who you're talking
about. The guy from Justified. Let me see.
I don't know what that is, but he was the one who he played like Gordon, I think his name was. The husband who like got into
Timothy Oliphant, right? The guy who's on a lot of shit. Well, he was the 20-something that she hooked up with in the first season. You remember that?
He was like one of the guys where like in the first episode when they're like interviewing guys in the gym, they're like, I don't know why she doesn't just date a fat guy, like all those little things.
Oh, okay. I don't know who that is then. How many did you guys watch after? How long has it been since you watched it?
Hold on. Before we get into that, Cheech, I need to know, what did you like about it specifically?
And are you a Charlotte, like we guessed?
A Charlotte?
Yeah.
I love Charlotte. She's my favorite.
Spit in my mouth.
Really?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Miranda, I don't know what she's doing. I don't know why she can't figure out why she's single. Grow your hair out, bitch, and fucking wear some tighter fitting clothes because you look busted as fuck.
She's a natural blonde. Dyed her hair red for the show.
Wow,
she's also a lesbian.
Mistake. Is she really?
Yeah. Played straight for the episode.
Wow.
She didn't play that straight. She looked she looked pretty danky.
Well, you know.
She was a lesbian in Ratchet too.
And I've heard on podcasts like It's 1999, they do a show where they recap every episode of Sex and the City. And I've heard many of those.
From 1999.
I get. No. Yeah, I think they are just season 2, right? And I've heard them talk about the show a lot, and one of the things they talk about is like this being like one of the first shows that really showed how women talk to each other, because they're like so open and frank about all this sexual stuff, and honestly, guys don't talk about it that intimately in that way. Like they're just straight up like talking about everything, and I think they were saying like this show really nailed that, and I kind of feel like they did nail that, and so that was cool. But yeah, I just thought it was funny. It's a funny show. Me and Christina are watching it together, and she loves it. So we're gonna.
Did you think that, like, was it just me, or when you're watching it, you're like, God, people in the '90s like weren't as attractive as they are now?
Everyone looked so fucking busted on this show.
Ugly,
like,
right?
They're like saying like, "Oh my God, he's so beautiful." I was like, that fool looks old as fuck. And then, how old are they supposed to be? Does anyone know?
Probably mid-30s, because in the first episode, Carrie talks about how she fucked that guy when she was like 25 and 27 and then 31.
Oh,
so they're definitely in their 30s. But yeah, they seem. I mean, Samantha seems like she's fucking 45.
I mean,
they seem.
I guess she's supposed to be like 39 or something, or 38. I would guess. I don't know, but the only one that looks good is Kim Cattrall looks all right, but Charlotte. I think that everyone else is just like.
Carrie gets better. Her hair is so bad in season 1.
The clothes, everyone's clothes on this show is like, oh my God, living in 1998, man, some bad.
Like, how much does that one little column pay?
Good question. It's
for you to have that.
I've heard them talk about that too. Is like, there's no way she can afford that. Just writing one column a week.
Yeah, so same thing with Friends, and the same thing with Seinfeld. Oh, not Seinfeld is a little more realistic, I felt, but like, like Friends is ridiculous, and yeah, whatever.
But at least they live together. At least they're splitting their rent
on a gigantic apartment, though. It's like fucking huge,
like a $10,000 apartment.
Yeah, it's ridiculously huge.
There's like a balcony and shit.
But on Seinfeld, Kramer just doesn't work, so I don't know how he affords his apartment.
But it's not lavish or extravagant. It's a small fucking place.
It is
it's
a small apartment.
That's what I was like. Oh, Seinfeld actually did that kind of right, but
yeah,
Well, and they even talk about in the second episode where that guy, they're like, he somehow like lives his life, but has never sold a painting, so nobody really knows. It's like no one knows how. Like, so, I mean, I guess Miranda's a lawyer.
They mention it, though. Carrie's this, I think, a few times where she's struggling for cash in the series arc, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but she also has, like, her thing is buying like really expensive shoes.
They talk about that. That was another thing they talk about too, is like they always go out. They're always going out to eat. They're always going out to drink. They're always buying expensive ass shoes. Is like, how much money do they make?
Yeah, a lot of cab fare.
Kim Cattrall, I guess they make her seem like she's got a really good job. And then,
she's like a PR. Yeah.
Miranda's a lawyer, so obviously she's got money. I don't know. Charlotte is like that. Does she run a?
She comes from money.
Gallery.
She runs an art gallery. Yeah, so Carrie's probably the brokest one of all of them, but.
Yeah, Charlotte, but they are. I mean, those martinis are like $15 in New York City, and yeah, they do eat out all the time. Plus, don't tell me those bitches eat like that. They're just chowing down on Chinese food, and Carrie's eating ice cream in her bed. Oh, okay.
I thought that too. I was like, there's no way they're going to these greasy diners in the middle of the night and eating all of these fries and shit. These skinny chicks probably do not eat at all.
Yeah. So to answer your question about how long has it been, how far did you go, I just rewatched those first two today, but in the last few months, probably, I watched the first two seasons. Like when I went to watch these, it was like, your next episode is like season 2, episode 10. So that's where I was in my rewatch. But the first time, I've only seen it all the way through one time. I think one summer, I was home from college one summer working at the YMCA, Camp Why Don't You Go, day camp. And every day I would come home and just watch Sex and the City in my bed.
Well, how old were
you?
So
that was probably maybe like 2009, maybe like 2009 when I ran 19. Through all of it. So it's been a minute since I've seen these episodes.
It's a good conversation.
With the exception of season 2.
The show's a good conversation starter. Every show has one specific topic. They stay on it. Everyone is dealing with the same topic in 4 different ways. And then basically between me and Christina, we're just end up talking about the topic. So
it's basically Carrie's assignment, right? So Carrie's whatever Carrie's writing about is what's happening, and I love that. That's a part of the thing that makes it so, I don't know, romantic, is just her writing a column in her whatever clothes, like laying on her bed, typing stuff out. It just seemed, I mean, imagine at the time, just seems so modern woman, like, oh, look, because like these MacBooks or whatever she was typing on, I mean, they were...
Man, the iMacs were so dope.
They look so shitty, but like, yeah, I mean, she's the quintessential modern woman situation, and I like that, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I always love that aspect of it.
How long? When did you watch it first?
I think I probably watched it. I definitely did, probably like 2005. Maybe I actually watched it. I would see some random episodes on TV, and I think Sex and the City was on like even basic TV, like after 11.
Like on TBS, I think.
Yeah, so I would watch those, and I would be like, "Wow, this is cool." And I think. I don't know exactly when I went through the whole series. Maybe when I got a point where I had HBO, so it should have been maybe like 5 years ago or 6 years ago. I actually went through the whole series. I watched a bunch of them, and I watched so many of them where you're like, dude, let's just get the whole fucking story. Like I get these little pieces, and you jump in, and you're like, okay, who's Mr. Big? What's going on? Like, all right. And then now you get it, the players, and you're like, dude, this is like plug and play now, right? But then you're like, dude, I like these characters so much. I want to know more. So that's kind of where I was at with it.
And that whole, like, when they talk to the camera thing, they dropped that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
In season 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So Carrie doesn't do that anymore. Does she still monologue over the...
Yeah, she still has, like, will narrate, like, when she's writing her story, like... And it led me to think,
okay,
do men only want to date models?
But she doesn't turn and look at the camera anymore.
No.
Interesting.
Right.
She doesn't break the fourth wall.
I didn't mind that. I mean, I really wanted to like the show because I wanted a new show to watch. But at the beginning, I was like, I don't know about this. Like, some of them seemed like Miranda was probably the most difficult one. Like, I was like, I don't know.
She's abrasive.
End up liking her. And, Kim Cattrall was kind of the same thing. Like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like her, but even Carrie, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like her. And then as the show goes on, though, I ended up liking all of them, and they all have their own thing going on, and I could see why people play that game. Like they have very defined roles on the show.
Yeah, and they were like the first to do it. That's the best part is like they hit a home run. HBO hit a home run on the first, like the shows like this of adult content like this, as far as like what it's like dating as a 30-something in Manhattan. They never, like they really hit it out of the park. It's such a great show, and it obviously stands the test of time. I still enjoyed the fuck out of it. And I thought a few times as I was watching, I go, what a weird time to be in your 30s. Like the technology, early 2000s,